Aging Matters on BCTV is supported by the Berks County Area Agency on Aging.
Hello and welcome to Aging Matters. This is a show that is provided by and sponsored by the Berks County Area Agency on Aging. My name is Ann Bartlett and I'm the Public Advocacy and Outreach Manager for the agency. Our show today is about helping harvest, and I have two guests with me today, Jay Worrall, who is President of Helping Harvest, and Lowery, see, that was tricky for me, is the Volunteer and Senior Services Manager for Helping Harvest. So thank you, Jay and Lori, for being here. I appreciate your time. And we're going to have wonderful information to share about Helping Harvest, the programs that you have, and the food distribution services that you have, as well as some of the needs for volunteer and some financial resources. So I want to start because I have a little quick brochure that I was looking at about the services, and speaking with Jay and Lori, I kind of wanted to mention one thing about statistics that I think is important for us to know about Helping Harvest among some of the other things. And I look at it as neighbors helping neighbors, neighbors helping each other in need, in this specific case with food. And that certainly is a necessary need for everybody's daily life, whether you're a senior or not. But one of the statistics I see is that more than 125,000 people are fed with food from Helping Harvest annually. And there's a lot that goes into being able to do that and to help each other here. And specifically, I'll talk about Berks County. I wanted to share the opportunity for Jay and Lori to talk about some of the programs that they have. And I want to, hopefully you'll emphasize a little bit about how it relates to seniors, since our show is focused on the older adult, but certainly don't exclude those programs. So I'm going to name them and I'm going to let you guys talk about them. I see that we have a couple programs. One is called the Weekender program. Sounds like a vacation to me. Produce for kids, senior programs, and of course the mobile market. So maybe you can give us a little bit about each one. I don't know if that's Jay or Lori, whoever wants to take that.
Well, why don't I start with the youth programs and then, so the food distribution programs have changed so radically since the pandemic happened that we're in a situation now where we're distributing more food than we have before, to more partners than we have before. We have about 320 what we call agency partners. Some of those are schools, nonprofit organizations, certainly church pantries, who receive food from us. And the Weekender program is one. Our board of directors has realized that there's a limited amount of food available to us, and so we want to make sure that that food is used as effectively as possible. They have some goals around senior programs that I'll have Lori talk about, but one of their focus areas is to distribute as much food to children during their peak brain development years as possible. So we're looking to feed children from when they're still in utero through about 3rd or 4th grade. And the Weekender program is a program that we've had for a long time. whereby we deliver a bag of food to a child in elementary school, usually. Some middle school students in high school gets them too, but primarily in elementary school. And that food is designed to replace the food that the child would have gotten at school during the week, so that they have food at home. Most low-income children get 2 meals a day at their school, breakfast and lunch.
Okay.
So at the end of last year, we were distributing about 1,800 bags every week
Wow.
throughout Berks and Schuylkill County. The board set this goal over the summer, and this fall we're going to try and distribute at least 4,000, maybe more, bags per week.
Wow, that is
to
a big
students.
jump, isn't it? It's double.
Well,
You know,
and
more than double.
Some of that is because we're serving more school districts than we ever have before. We're also now serving Head Start sites, preschool centers, pre-K centers. So sort of trying to expand our reach of the Weekender program to younger kids. And then our big challenge really is identifying food insecure pregnant mothers and infants, because you know, if you're in a daycare or an elementary school, we know how to find you,
Yeah.
but we don't have robust referral systems for pregnant mothers or infants yet. So we're working on that.
And hence the development of all these other partners.
That's
To
right.
ensure that.
That's right. So, you know, people who work in pediatric offices, if you want to get in touch with us, we'd love to talk with you about this program.
Exactly.
And Produce for Kids is similar for schools that have what's called community eligibility. That means every student in the school is eligible for free or reduced lunch. We bring bags of produce, hence the term Produce for Kids, and we give them to every child who leaves that school.
Wow.
There's, I think, 4 or 5 school districts that have that community eligibility right now.
Yeah.
2 in Berks County, the others are in Schuylkill County, and so those are the schools that we can have that program with.
I'm speechless. That's not easy to do. That's a wonderful thing and a great opportunity for us helping each other and being able to even begin to set goals to expand those programs, because many are in need, and it's a wonderful program getting good, healthy food, you know, that's nutritious, and as you said, in those brain development, mind development years. How wonderful. That's terrific.
Lori,
Did you
why don't you
wanna-
talk about
okay.
our senior program?
All
a little
right.
bit?
And then one of the other focuses, we have a senior food program. It's actually called the Pennsylvania Senior Food Box. And we are one of 18 different food banks that participate in the state of Pennsylvania. And each food bank is allotted with a certain amount of caseload, and we have to reach those seniors, and of course we want to reach more. So right now our caseload is at 1,944 seniors who each month they're getting this senior food box along with some cheese that comes from the Department of Agriculture. They're the ones that do send us that food. But we at the food bank have been really thinking outside the box and trying to expand and give those seniors more of the fresh options and other things to make that box last a little bit longer. I always describe when people are applying for it, it's non-perishable food items that can supplement in your pantry throughout the month. And it's nice because sometimes they may get a little lower at certain points than other points. But we do have our mobile markets then that I also encourage them to go to, which is another program that we run, and that gives a lot of the fresh produce and fresh vegetables and frozen items and milk and dairy and all those types of things. So it kind of pairs together. The senior program, though, is a really great program because it's for any senior who's at least 60 years of age. They can apply, and they have income guidelines that are in place. They don't have to prove what their income is, and that's a huge change because going back just a few years, they actually had to prove all their income, and if they weren't eligible, they couldn't receive that box, which was kind of a shame because there's a lot of seniors that might have been $5
I was just gonna
over,
say a few
which
dollars
is
over.
a little crazy. So they finally realized, you know, maybe we should be a little lenient with that program, which was great. So there are seniors, you know, they're seeing those numbers and they're able to, you know, apply. And we do have a waiting list right now, and we are increasing our caseload or continuing to ask for increase in caseload. So And our goal, hopefully, is to get closer to maybe 2,400 seniors that'll be getting that senior food box and cheese and any additional items, each month. And that is between Berks and Schuylkill County, but there are a large amount of seniors, who are eligible in both locations.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, absolutely. With our organization as the Area Agency on Aging, certainly we are working with a lot of seniors in our community and working with Helping Harvest as a partner on some of these programs and issues for awareness and for further resources.
Yeah.
But, you look at that and you think, some of the things are as simple as some can't get out.
Right.
Limited transportation on certain days and times to be able to get out, and let alone to be able to get that transportation to a grocery store or a market or something else to be able to get food with all potentially medical limitations or concerns that they have. So to be able to get that and know that that box can provide them some pantry sustainability, and then maybe get small stuff here and there, as well as adding that market component, really helps to expand that ability to have some nutritious food for a long period of time. That's wonderful. And the talk about the mobile market. Just tell me a little bit more about potential locations when you say mobile market.
Well, we had an idea a long while back now that we wanted to reach places that didn't really have food distributions available at all. Maybe there was nowhere for anyone to go. We started with a really small amount of locations, and now I think we've grown to 22 mobile markets that we do all across Berks and Schuylkill County, and they're in a lot of different areas. Some are very far out and some are just close by, but maybe there's a void in that location where people can't get any other food except to go to those sites. And it's wonderful because we do make it, the majority of them are a drive-up scenario, where people can drive up with their car and volunteers are there and they can actually load the various items into their trunk or into the back seat of their vehicle, whatever. We have only a couple that are a walk-up, but it gives us the ability to give them a lot more food possibly than if they were going maybe to a local pantry site, because you can only carry or, bring along so much with you.
Necessity is sort of the mother of invention. So when the pandemic started and all of the social distancing requirements were put in place, many of our traditional church pantries had to close down because they were not allowing people to go through their social halls and so we started setting up these mobile markets. Of course, that back in March of 2020, we all thought we were going to wash our hands for a few weeks and be done with COVID. It seems like that's not been the case. But it really has allowed us to solve a lot of other problems in our distribution network, certainly in terms of geographic location, but we're also able to offer mobile markets on a Saturday. And again, it's hard to leave a pantry with enough food to last you for a few weeks. But, again, we're putting food directly in the trunk of people's cars so they can leave with more food.
Nice. Can you give me an example, Lori, of a couple sites? Like we've been saying food pantries, and I think a lot of us are familiar with some of the food pantries that have been at church locations, as Jay was mentioning. But give me some other ideas about where these mobile markets might
Well, some of the mobile markets that we do actually have one that's held in the RAC parking lot, which is not that far from this location. That's on a Saturday, which is a huge distribution because a lot of people, if they are working or have child issues or whatever the case may be, we have distribution in Ole, we have a distribution in Wernersville. We have distributions on 11th and Pike, actually at the playground up there that we do. We do have some up in Schuylkill County and like Auburn. And we have other ones in Valley View. We're just starting that. That's kind of really far out, brand new location, but there's a huge need. There's also various locations that we do, I'm trying to think of what other ones. I know we have one, Moton. We have so many of them, it's hard to keep track of. The Fairground Square Mall.
So yeah, really, they are all over, as you were saying, and different types of places.
And
There's one right on Penn Street in Wernersville. All over Bern Township has one at the
at the
church.
Bern UCC. That's there.
So I'm going to ask now, and then we're going to do it again at the end of the show. So if I'm a person listening, I'm a senior, I'm going, oh, I could really benefit from that. I wonder where there are some of these locations. How do they find out first? You were mentioning about if they qualify, so there's some kind of application or somebody they have to talk to, and then where do they find a list of those, or do you tell them where there are some close to maybe where they live?
Yeah, well, the easiest thing to do is to just call our main phone number, which is the 610-926-5802, and it's normally able to be fanned out to the proper person, but anyone in the programs department can help people with site locations if they need help with like food to go to a mobile market or something along those lines. But if they're looking specifically about the senior program, they can just ask for me. I'm at extension 203, and I can send them the application, which actually I brought with me. It's just a one-page sheet, and I can mail it to them and highlight the areas they need to complete, and I send a self-addressed stamped envelope.
Oh, nice.
Or I can even email it if that's something that you prefer. And then you can get it back to me, and we can put you on the waiting list, and I do acknowledge that with a letter and keep them in the loop as to when and what's going on.
When they
and all
come
that
up
kind
to
of
the
thing.
top of the list.
Yep.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, and we'll make sure that they can, if they need food from us,
We'll get them the
they'll be
info.
getting food from us before,
Yeah.
even as they're on the waiting
Yep.
list.
Yep.
So I'm going to switch gears a little bit now with the time that we have, and I had the opportunity and the privilege of visiting Helping Harvest recently, and we have a tape that I want to show of the actual whole production, or pretty much, I guess, of kind of start to finish. We saw people boxing and forklift operators bringing food in through the trucks and out, and everything that I think I want to share that this is some kind of operation that I wanted to share what all goes into, even as that outcome of that one box, or the bag of food that gets to the children. Let's look at it in operation. I think we should have the tape ready, if we can roll the tape at Helping Harvest.
My name is Jay Worrall. I'm the very proud president of Helping Harvest Fresh Food Bank, and we are here today in our warehouse. We're going to do a little bit of a tour. We have volunteers here preparing boxes for our Pennsylvania Senior Food Box program, which we'll be distributing in a few weeks. So come with me. I'll show you where all the action is. So our volunteers here will be packing about 1,950 boxes starting tomorrow. They're making those boxes up right now. You can see we have product all along these shelves here. Again, that's all product for our Pennsylvania Senior Food Box program. We distribute just about 2,000 boxes every month to low-income seniors in our community. It's food that's provided to us by the state, and again, we pack it every month for seniors. We've just started recently distributing a fresh bag of produce with every box that we distribute. We're very proud of that, and we have partnerships with the Office of Aging to pay for the produce that goes in those bags. If you come with me here, you'll see some of this product. These are things that we get donated to us, maybe from the Walmart distribution center in Pottsville, maybe from your local Redner's or Weiss or Giant. And this product all comes to us kind of jumbled up, and we have volunteers who separate it into these categories so that we can distribute it to our agencies. We distribute food to 320 agencies in Berks and Schuylkill counties. We're distributing just about 10 million pounds of food a year right now. That's up dramatically over 2 years ago when we were distributing about 6 million pounds of food. It's really been the effect of the pandemic on our work. Here we have more product. This is product that we're holding. You can see it says holiday on the yellow tags. We're holding these. We'll be distributing 6,000 Thanksgiving boxes this Thanksgiving, along with a frozen turkey. And so this product is just now starting to come in. We'll hold on to it till we start packing those boxes soon. up here on these shelves with the green tape are what we call pantry boxes. So in recent years, since the pandemic, we've been distributing food a little bit differently. We've been packing a lot more food into bags and boxes and handing it to families in need. It used to be that we would spread food out in churches and nonprofit organizations, and people would come through and select the items they wanted, and then they would go home. But with our demand as high as it is, and with the social distancing requirements that came with the pandemic, the box distribution is a much more efficient way for us to do things. Our warehouse holds about 1.6 million pounds of food in what we call the dry area. That's the room temperature section of our warehouse here. We have 2 refrigerators and 2 freezers on our site. We can hold just about a little bit less than 1,000 pallets worth of food in cold storage. We just actually expanded our cold storage section so that we can keep on hand more fresh produce, milk, dairy products, frozen meats, because of course oftentimes that's the most healthy product that we have able to distribute to people. So we're making investments in being able to have more of that kind of product on hand. Actually, with the Office of Aging, we just recently started distributing a bag of healthy products, mostly produce, to all the seniors in our community who get meals through Meals on Wheels, which is just a great partnership. The county is helping us with some funding for that program, and the Meals on Wheels volunteers are delivering the bags along with the meal. We don't get a lot of things that are not food, but we do sometimes. So here we have things that have come from places like Dollar General or again Walmart, even sometimes the grocery stores. So you'll see a lot of things like paper towels and toilet paper, hygiene products, things like that. We call it wish list. That's just what we call it here. But we also do distribute some of those kinds of products to people in our community. Behind me here, you'll see our receiving area. So we get food in one of 3 ways primarily. We'll get food brought to us through government programs, primarily USDA. We also participate in 2 programs through the state. Again, we get product donated to us through the local retail streams, but we purchase a lot of product also. In fact, our purchasing budget from 2019 has gone up from about $300,000 a year to about $3 million a year. So, and much of the reason that we had to expand our cold storage was so that we could purchase more plums and pears and milk and, you know, those kinds of products that we really want to see our clients have in their homes. You see, we use a lot of equipment to move things around. We really kind of are a logistics company. Just like an Amazon warehouse, we hire people to receive product and put it up on the shelves. And we have Danny here who has an order from one of our agencies, probably a church pantry. And he's picking the items that the church has ordered from us. Then we'll wrap it up, bring it out to the church on their day of distribution, and they will hand product to the people who need it. Helping Harvest sometimes gives food directly to low-income people, but much more typically, we're providing food to a church or a nonprofit organization who are the people who are handing that food to the people in need. You come this way. You're good, Yariel. This is one of our cold storage areas. This is an area we call the fresh. It's a little bit warmer than a traditional refrigerator. Some kinds of products are held better at a little bit of a warmer temperature. Things like melons, which are in season right now. We have a lot of watermelons, a lot of cantaloupes coming to us right now. And also some kinds of pastry products like cakes and cupcakes and cookies. We get those kinds of products from the stores. We don't purchase them, but we do get them sometimes, and they're held better at a little bit warmer temperature. this is one of our refrigerators. You can see how full it is. Almost every pallet location is taken right now. And a lot of vegetables, fresh fruits, milk. We get a lot of yogurt. And most of the product that's in here right now either is wrapped up to go out to a pantry partner or is product that we purchased. Again, really trying to use the money that we have to purchase product on the healthiest options available. All right, so here on the shelves you can see product that we've already packed and picked and has been put together and is ready to deliver to an agent.
That is some operation, Jay. I'm thrilled to be able to be there and have that tour. Everything from the food coming in to where you're going to store it, whether it's the meats and the dairies in the freezer section, the produce, other items, skids, pallets, where you're going to get it to the volunteers who are packaging, the staff who are taking it from point A to B, loading, unloading, the truck distribution. It's a big, as you said, I believe earlier, logistical operation. What it strikes me is certainly in order to be able to do that, and you've mentioned before to me that you spend over $3 million in actual purchasing of food, which people may not realize and think it's a lot of donations, but it's really now purchasing the food to make all of these programs happen and to feed all of these folks. So you need a lot of resources, and I'm going to turn it back over for a few minutes that we have with the resources. I'm sure Lowery can use some volunteer hours, some time from volunteers, as well as financial resources. So how can we help, Lowery?
We're always looking for volunteers, and I always say to people, they'll say, are you looking for new people to come and help out? And I always say, yeah, because everyone has different availability, different talents, different strengths, and there's so many different things that they can actually take part in. Yes, we are a warehouse primarily, so there are many opportunities that involve a person being out in the warehouse and maybe helping to pack product or to sort produce and make bags up for the students, or just make boxes like they were doing in that video, which is actually not as physical as maybe some of the other things can be, but everyone knows their own limitations. But we also have a huge need, and people don't always think about it. With programs growing and expanding, for example, we have a transit van, and we're looking for more and more drivers who are willing to help us with delivering things. So, you know, it would be maybe just delivering a couple different totes to a school here or there, but that's tremendous because our drivers are getting their schedules more and more crammed, packed, so they don't have as much time to do that all. Our mobile markets that we spoke about, if you're someone that you want to really see it come full circle, maybe you've donated funds to us, you've been in the warehouse, working and packing up bags. Now you want to actually see who it's benefiting. Helping and being a volunteer off-site is another tremendous thing. You can go and you can actually hand the food out to the people directly in their community or in their own backyard, and it's very, very rewarding.
That's great. And I'm going to put a direct call out to seniors. I know that usually we say seniors have a lot of time in their hands, they're retired, and I know that they've got schedules too, and they've got this thing and that thing going. But if you can find a little bit of extra time, I think that Helping Harvest has the flexibility with time you can give, as well as you said, what you can do to help this whole program happen. I'm going to put a call out to seniors to give them a call and volunteer some time. And last but certainly not least is some financial resources. So if I can't get out there as a volunteer to give my time, you accept donations too, don't you, Jay?
Absolutely. So we rely on donations to do most of this work. So, not only is purchasing the food expensive, we run 8 CDL trucks. I think people know about gas prices right now. There's a lot of costs associated with that. And as our volume has grown, we're almost twice as busy as we were 2 years ago. We have more drivers on staff, more warehouse workers on staff, and those kinds of people. So, yeah, definitely very interested in having people support our mission. We're raising money particularly for the increase in the Weekender program, which will probably cost about $1.6 million a year. And yeah, just always interested in having people help us with that. If you go on our website, which is www.helpingharvest.org, on our first page, there are 2 buttons next to each other. You can choose to sign up to volunteer. And Lowery has a quite substantial system of volunteer communication. She does that excellently, and of course we have a donation button on our website also.
Good. And Lori, give us the phone number one more time.
Sure. Just give us a call at 610-926-5802, and then they'll direct you to whomever you'd like to speak to. If you just ask in general, you want to volunteer, or you want information on food assistance, or whatever the case may be, and we'll make sure you get to talk to somebody to get you that help or get you the information that you need.
Thank you. So I'm going to encourage everybody to take advantage of the programs that are available through Helping Harvest. Please give them a call and find out where those different programs are to have access to food that you need and the eligibility requirements to do so for the seniors. But also, if you have that extra ability and time, share that with Helping Harvest in your time and any other financial or abilities that you have, driving truck, packing food, being at a site to help with distribution. So I want to thank Jay and Lori for being here today to share this information about Helping Harvest, and we'll see you next month on Aging Matters.
Aging Matters on BCTV is supported by the Berks County Area Agency on Aging.